Hello guys and welcome back to the tutorial series where we create a grand strategy map based on real world data. At the current stage, this is the third episode and we reached this point. So we have created a map with selectable regions, but we are not able to do anything with the camera. It's stuck in this view. So in this episode, we will create a script for our camera so we are able to zoom in and out, move it around, and also have some edge detection and move the camera based on that. The first thing we will do is to create some input keys in the input map. So go to project settings, and input map. So let's add some new actions. We need the camera forward, camera backwards, camera right, and camera left. We also need for the zooming functions, so we need one zoom in and one zoom out. Zoom in, and let's add one zoom out, like so. Okay, and then let's bind some buttons to these actions. So on the forward, I want W, backwards S, and D for right, and A for left. For the zoom in, I want to use the scroll button on my mouse. Mouse wheel up, and out, mouse wheel down, like so. Good. Now, let's just go ahead and create a script for our camera that we placed in the previous episode. But basically, if you haven't followed this far, it's just, normal to the camera that covers the screen, basically. Okay. The first thing out is the zoom function. So let's start by creating some variables. Camera zoom direction. This is the one that will variable that will define if you're zooming in or out. But when we're doing neither, it should be set to 0. Just type it. So then let's create export variables. Camera zoom speed. It's also a float. Two. Let's just copy this one for the, and we need a minimum zoom and a maximum. Put the max to 4, which is the same zoom level we started, and the minimum to 15, like so. So let's create an handle input function, which is the function that will get noticed if we actually use one of the input keys. function should be event, of course, if event. Good. Now we got our keys, so we have to take zoom in. It's 1. Then let's do the same for zoom out. Change the if to if else, and then -1 if we are zooming out. Okay, and let's create a function for the actual zoom functionality. Camera zoom. Okay. New zoom. Camera zoom speed. Multiply that with the zoom level that we have. So you see that I use zoom X. It doesn't really matter because in the studio here now, the zoom X and the zoom Y is the same. So it's, yeah. So you can use either or. Anyways, multiply that with the camera zoom direction. Multiply with the delta. Now let's put in the restraints that we, since we are clamping it. Camera zoom max and camera zoom min. Great. Then we need to set the zoom to the new zoom variable that we just created. Zoom equals 2. And it just, as I said, the X and the Y are the same, so put that float in both values for the zoom. Put camera zoom direction. Multiply equals 0.7. So we could put this just to 0, but then you would get a very hard zoom, so it would be very not fluid. But when you do like this, then we get like a fluid because it would multiply down until it reaches 0. So it'd be like a smooth zooming motion. Yes, and then we also need to call the function, and we do that in our process function right here, like so. And the delta, of course. All right, then let's test our zooming and see if it works. Yeah, it does. Perfect. Then that's part 1 of our camera completed. Then we are ready to move on to the second part, which is the camera movement. So let's create another variable for that. Camera move. Camera move speed. Let's take 400. So, okay, let's create a camera move function. So it's also delta input because we will put it in our process function, just the same as with the zoom. So let's make a direction variable. Just make it 0. Then let's make some if statements where we check for the key input for movement. Is action pressed? Okay, start with camera forward. And we lost the direction. The y will be minus equal 1. Okay, so let's copy this line, make 4 in total. So camera backward. Camera right and camera left. Then change the sign on this ones to plus and then plus and then minus on the left. We need to change the last two ones to x instead of y. Then update our position, which is the position of the camera. Plus equals velocity direction. Normalize. Time it with the camera move speed. Also, we want to divide it by the zoom, just so that, so it seems like it moves the same speed no matter how far or near we are. If we don't do that, it will feel really sluggish when you zoom out and way too fast when you zoom in. And then multiply with the delta. Okay, then try to put this in a process function, camera move. Okay, let's test this one as well. Great. So it reacts to all 4 movement buttons. So as you see, when I zoom in, it goes a bit slower, so you get more control. It goes faster when you zoom out, so you can easily move around the map. Wonderful. The last part is to create some panning so that if the mouse is on the edge of our viewport, we want the camera to move automatically in that direction. So again, let's create a new variable. Just copy this one for simplicity. Camera pan margin. Put this one as an integer of 16. Now we need to create a function for the camera panning. Same as the others, it's going to be a process function, so need to catch the viewport. No, not function. Okay. Type viewport like so. Which equals get viewport. Direction. So it will start as negative. -1, -1. Small rectangle. Rect2. Viewport current. Get the visible rect. So we need the viewport size. Rectangle dot size. And then we need the current mouse position. Get mouse position. So, okay, then let's check if our mouse is within the panning margin on the x-axis first. So current mouse position dot x, also checking the x-axis. It's less than the camera pan margin. Or the current mouse position x is bigger than the viewport size of x. Minus the margin. if current mouse position is bigger than the viewport size of X, divided by 2, then the pan direction X is 1. Camera move speed, so we reduce that one, divided by zoom X. Okay, so what we do here is that the top line, it checks, if it is, if our mouse is in whether or is inside any of the margins on either side of the x-axis. And then it checks which side it is. So if it is on the, I think that is the left side, then it will be 1, so then it will move in that direction. If not, then it will use the -1 that we clarified in the variable in the beginning, so then it will move in the opposite direction. Okay, and then let's do the exact same thing for the y-axis. Let's just remember to change out the x's to y's. So of course you could have different top margin if you wanted to, but since we only have one input variable, that's not something we can do right off the bat. Position. And yeah, zoom speed of x can be the same because it's the same on both. Then let's call this guy also in our process function. Camera pan. Okay, and let's check this one as well. If you now play, yeah, if you see I move my mouse, the camera automatically moves to that side. So now the panning is working, our key movements are working, and our zooming is working. So yeah, that's it. Now we have a functional grand strategy camera 2D. So yeah, that's it for this episode. And if you like, then like the video and subscribe and follow along for the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.